Hey folks, Sunsaver here. Well, time for another audio. Not doing a video because I don't really have anything to show. I don't have a background, a backdrop that's suitable, and I'm pantsless. Haven't shaved, haven't fixed my hair lately. Um, but I wanted to make a video for all of my friends out there in the real world and also for my new cyber friends who may be looking for me on Facebook. I've deleted my Facebook page and I've tried several times to create a new account, and I can't seem to do it. Every time I go back in, it tries to say, "Oh, well, you have to do this or that," or it says, "Well, you still want to delete your channel." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I want to delete my channel, but not this channel. This is a new channel." Well, apparently I have to wait 30 days for my old Facebook page, I should say, to be completely deleted before I can open a totally new Facebook. And so part of the problem is, well, I got lucky. I was able to remember my password, my original password from Facebook, so I was able to go ahead and authorize a deletion of my Facebook account. However, the old email that I used to sign up for Facebook is no longer valid and I can't even access it. And I don't have the computer, I no longer have the computer that all those passwords were saved on. I cannot find the little piece of paper where I wrote down my password, which you're not supposed to write down your password, but old guys like me, I'm 54, and we tend to forget things a lot. So, speaking of brain farts, I just saw Jim Goodall on Paranormal Chop Shop, which is my new favorite channel. I wanted to come on, but I didn't really because I really just wanted to listen to Jim and just hear his stories and stuff. And I got involved in the chat, which I like to be in the chat mostly too, anyways, because I don't really, unless it's just ghost stories or my personal experiences with the apparently aliens that we have around. And I'm not saying that all of them are aliens. I'm sure there's a lot of sort of alternative creatures out there. There's angels. I believe in ghosts. I believe in angels. I believe in God. I really define God as just the entire cosmos. It's everything that's outside of our body. Of course, inside our body, those are angels too, because your beneficial bacteria, they keep you alive, they repair your cells in your body. But to them, you're God. So if you kill yourself, you're killing millions of innocent souls that are inside your body. Your beneficial colonies of bacteria and stuff like that. But these little 3 foot tall gray dudes riding around saucers, those are not beneficial bacteria, unless these are just like antibodies from the universe. But I don't think they're antibodies from the universe. I think these are parasites, or, they're overlords, or whatever you want to call them. Now, these orb things, that those might be, because there's at least one person out there. Well, there's more than one for sure that can literally sort of call these things down from the sky using prayer, meditation, whatever you want to call it. So I say that those are angels. These are ultra terrestrials. These are creatures that have always been in this part of the universe or whatever. They may live, an infinitely long time compared to humanity, or they could, like ghosts. I said, I believed to some great extent in ghosts. People have died and been dead for hours and been brought back to life, and they remember all their experiences while they were supposedly dead. This is why I don't believe in cremation. I'm very upset that my dad supposedly, had his body cremated, and because I don't know how much of that you might still be able to feel. Now, apparently that you don't. Apparently, when people die, they tend to leave their body, and you're sort of astral traveling. But to look down and see your old body being burned, that wouldn't be cool to me. I'd rather be peacefully put to rest in a compost pile, and have my body composted. I said something about this to a young girl that used to live in the neighborhood, and well, people gossip around here really badly, and so everybody got on Facebook. It's one of the reasons why I'm leaving Facebook, is because people get on there and they gossip, and one person tells yeah, it's a blue box. Next person whispers in there. Next thing you know, it's like a yellow ball or something. It's like, what happened to the blue box? The story got totally changed around. So everybody gets on Facebook and starts saying, "Oh yeah, he's gonna bury himself under his house or something like this." No, what I'm digging under my house, that's called a bomb shelter or tornado shelter, because global warming is real. Our atmosphere is getting thicker and hotter and denser. These greenhouse gases directly absorb infrared radiation from the sun and from outer space, and they trap heat, acts like a blanket of insulation around the Earth. So the atmosphere is getting thicker. All this air pollution, all of it, not just the carbon. Carbon and methane, or methane is even worse. So leaking natural gas is really a disaster for our planet. We need to switch to cold fusion, clean energy, or even the hot fusion if it's controlled, and safely. Um, so, anyways, shout out to my buddy Hiram, and down South Louisiana. Dude, I have tried and tried to make a new Facebook page for the last 48 hours. I also tried to sign into Line, and even it said, hey, this is not the right password. Well, look, I'm trying to create a new account. I've never even been online. I know my email is right, and this is the password I'm trying to create for a new account, and it just wouldn't let me do it. I don't know what's wrong. I guess it's because it's not the right. Well, they want my password to my email. Is that what they're saying? Or they want my password to this computer here? No, sorry, that information ain't is known only to Microsoft or whoever, whoever when I first purchased this computer. So I can't get on the line, and I'm not going to sign up for Yahoo Mail. So Hiram, I suggest if you want to contact me, you need to email me at sunsaver from nhh at gmail. You're just going to have to open your own Gmail account. I do not intend to create a Yahoo account. When I went on to Yahoo, it was like nothing but advertising and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that Google and Gmail don't, collect data and spy on people too, but I'm about to start working on some things that I really can't share with the public, and I don't even really want to maybe share with Google. So, um, that's all I can say on that, buddy. I'll write you an old-fashioned letter and send it through snail mail, U.S. Postal Service. But other than that, I don't have a cell phone. It's another thing too. Like, I can't even file my taxes because it wants me to wants me to verify with a text code and all this. So I have to find somebody that has a cell phone. I do not intend on getting a new cell phone. Um, I hate when you're sitting there and you're eating dinner, and then you get a phone call and you're thinking, oh, it's an emergency or whatever, or which that used to happen a lot when I was running my business. I have customers calling me at 1 a.m. Oh, I got a leak, or John, I need you to come program my VCR for me, or whatever. Oops, put my name on there. That's another thing. I don't really want to share my private information and personal data with the whole world. I kind of like my privacy, and I sort of like some anonymity. I mean, I don't mind coming on to these internet panels and live streams, but I have no desire to be a famous actor. I have no desire to be a famous singer or musician. Well, I'll take that back. I wouldn't mind being in a rock band just for the fun of being in a rock band and for dealing with crowds in that sense where you're entertaining. You're an entertainer. I wouldn't mind being an entertainer, but I'll be the artist formerly known as Sunsafer or something like that. Personally, Facebook, well, YouTube hasn't really helped me much either. I thought with YouTube I could do some self promotion and maybe find an investor, some corporate person would get on there and say, "Hey, this guy's legit. We could hire him, or we could fund his new corporate adventure that he wants to create a new corporation, to work on these advanced projects." So, that's not going to happen either, apparently. And YouTube doesn't promote my channel. You got to pay to promote anything. Same with Facebook. Now back to Facebook. Um, Facebook has really done a huge disservice to this country. It's got Americans divided along right and left political lines. Um, Basically, you don't have any free will if all your thoughts and ideals and idealism is being corrupted by these all these memes, Russian and oil company memes on Facebook. Now, I say Russian and oil company because these big oil company polluters, aside from their limited service of making munitions, really are allied with the enemies of the USA, including Russia, um, Iran, these other oil producing nations that don't believe in democracy and don't even believe in God, a lot of them. So Putin is basically just an old, bureaucrat from the KGB, and I doubt he believes in God because he would not be murdering innocent women and children in Ukraine. If he believed in God, what kind of idiot would risk sending his eternal soul to hell by killing innocent women and children? Ask yourself this. Putin is not your friend. Putin is a friend of Satan, or he better be, because that's where he's going to end up when his body finally passes away and his eternal spirit leaves his body and starts flying around there in outer space. Well, he's going to get sucked right back down into this world, and he's going to be born as a little brown kid living on the south side of Monroe, Louisiana. That's hell. Yeah, being a little black kid living on the south side of Monroe in the 1960s, or Mobile, Alabama in the 1960s. That's what's going to happen to Putin. And talking about Nazis, okay, that's projection. When you accuse innocent people of something, that means you're projecting, okay? So, so I'm accusing Putin he's going to go to hell? Well, I'm projecting. I believe I probably already am in hell. So I'm working on my eternal soul to where I can go to the real heaven in my next incarnation. So either I'll become one of these orb creatures, you know, or I'll turn into a blue beam of light, like my old working partner, um, my old working partner that I used to see up there at the paint store all the time. Apparently I saw his ghost at this woman's house, and his daughter saw it too. Talking about paranormal stuff. Now, I literally started praying, like, Lord, am I here doing the right thing? And what, should, I start, well, orphans and widows and all this. And I was like, well, yeah, I knew Richard, we were buddies, and he knows, I mean, least God knows, that my intentions are noble. Like I wasn't there just trying to get laid or take advantage of this woman. And that's the very instant when I saw this blue beam of light. So his widow, this dead person, comes out, and I start telling her. She's like, "Yeah, I saw it the other day, and I saw it earlier, and I told my daughter Amanda, and she didn't believe me. And so Amanda comes outside, and I'm telling her about it, and she's already rolling her eyes, and I'm like halfway through talking about a previous experience. I saw something very similar at a house that I used to live in back when I was married some 30 years ago. The only woman I ever had sex with, and married her, but we lived in apparently a haunted house. And so, like I said, those ghost stories, I can share that. But the other information, all the all this, like I was on a channel the other day, and somebody come on, and he was just a moderator or whatever, and he said, "Well, I want to be a healthy skepticism, whatever." I don't have time for skeptics. If you don't believe in God, or you don't believe in ghosts, or you don't believe in UFOs or whatever, that's your right. But my job is not to convince you that any of this shit is real. So, and so I'm not going to be doing the UFO stuff so much anymore. Unless it's discussing how the ETs function, how we might be able to fight off the bad ones, how we might be able to recruit help from the good ones. Okay, what the biology is of some of them. The ones that are really strange. Okay, that don't appear to even have a physical substrate at all. So I'm interested in the physics of how the aliens work. My job is not to convince any of you people out in the public that aliens are real and that they're already here. Uh, some of them could be ghosts. These could be ghosts of dead Native Americans. Watch the movie Poltergeist. They're here. They're here. Yes, they are here. So, not long after they mowed down all these pristine woods around my neighborhood, so I live in a little subdivision, a little blue collar neighborhood, kind of out in the countryside, okay? It's countryside down here in Louisiana, okay? Or some people call it Louisiana, but I love Louisiana. It's beautiful hill country where I live. So anyhow, this little blue collar subdivision used to be surrounded by this fairly large, pristine, old growth forest. I counted some tree rings on a tree that was apparently over 70 years old. Okay, that is not a renewable resource. You don't regrow a 70-year-old oak tree in a human lifetime. Not my lifetime. I got 20 years left, maybe. But the pine forest, that's a different story. I'm all in favor of it. I mean, I try to use less paper as I can because I'm an environmentalist. I try to use very little paper, I should say, or recycle paper, and I use junk mail for toilet paper, for example. I don't buy paper towels and stuff like this. But that being said, our pine forests here in Louisiana support wildlife. Gives a place for hunters and adventure seekers to go out, and nature lovers to go out and enjoy Mother Nature. And they let these trees grow for quite some time before they cut them down too. But at the same time, these are not old growth forests. These are young pine forests grown specifically for wood pulp. But okay, let's say if you were to use hemp or cannabis, for paper, well, that's never going to support any wildlife. As no squirrels are going to live there. You're not going to have armadillos and things living in there. You can't go hunting in a hemp forest. So I'm really opposed to using hemp for paper products. Uh, use it for medication. That's what it is. Cannabis was created by God as medication. So that's all I'm going to say on the legalization stuff. It should be legalized. Really, all this stuff I think should be legalized because these are spiritual issues. You know, the government shall make no law regarding religion. We have freedom of religion in the USA. And those of you who don't like the freedom of religion, you don't like the Wiccans, or you don't like the Satanists, and you don't like the Freemasons or whoever, you don't like the Catholics, you don't like the Scientologists or whatever. Well, get over it. Start your own religion. That's what I thought about doing. I was to start my own sort of Scientology 2.0, and we're going to be investing in real estate. Okay. Um, but anyhow, I'm not really going to be. That's about all I want to say on the UFO topic and the aliens versus angels. So Putin is not an angel, and that's all I'm going to say about politics. I'm not going to. I just wanted to clarify why I was leaving Facebook. Facebook has been relentlessly promoting negative posts. You're having a bad day, you get on there and you say shit fuck. Okay, they share that to everybody in your neighborhood and all your friends and people you don't even fucking know. Okay, but you get on there and you write this long essay about defending democracy or what's good about the USA. Well, Facebook doesn't show that to anyone. You gotta like share a link to your friends on Facebook or they won't even see it. You try to promote your YouTube channel, your live stream or whatever. Three people see it. You gotta call them up on the phone and say, hey man, go on my Facebook page or whatever. Please follow me on social media. You got to do relentless self promotion because Facebook does not share anything beneficial to you or to your nation. Unless you're a big oil company or a Russian funder, Russian oligarch funneling money to what's his name, Fuckerberg. Okay. Um, so also, I've only seen one rocket get shot down by an alien spacecraft or UFO or angel. I'm going to say it was an angel because I don't know how the physics of these things work. So the rocket that got shot down was a SpaceX rocket, and I seen this orb come flying up, and there was like a beam of light on the outside of the spacecraft, the Falcon 9 rocket, and next thing you know, it blows up. So I go back and look at it in slow mo. It was an HD video on some veterans website, and I go back and look through it frame by frame. This thing, basically shoots a beam. The rocket starts blowing up. It goes around the rocket and literally flies back up through the explosion. So this ball or orb, it just sort of looked like a gray orb. Okay. Um, I think my buddy Sonny on PCS has seen this one of these little gray orbs. Thought it was a soap bubble, but I think they can change their size to some great extent too. Because hey, if you're not actually a physical creature, I'm sure you can change your size. If you're just a spirit or a plasma-based animal or some alternative physics. So, anyways, this orb, it shoots the Falcon 9 rocket. Rocket starts blowing up. It sort of makes a loop, a 90 degree, 180 degree turn, and flies right back up through the explosion and out of the fireball, and it leaves frame. And I watched this video over and over. It's an HD video. Um, so I started looking into it. Like I said, well, why would an angel or slash aliens, if you want to say aliens, I don't really believe that these are aliens. Um, why would the angels want to blow up this Falcon 9 rocket? Elon Musk's not a bad dude. He's trying to really save humanity and turn us into a multi-planetary species. Okay. Um, so I looked into it. Well, what was on the Falcon 9 rocket that needed to be gotten rid of? Well, it turns out it was supposedly a Facebook satellite. It was going to share Facebook with the world or other parts of the world. And now, another so-called bad guy, in my opinion, another bad guy out there who I'm not going to name because I don't want to get I don't want to get any haters out there. But there's well, if you hate on me for hating on Fuckerberg, then that's tough luck. I think the dude's evil. I don't think he's human. He looks like an alien. Looks and acts like an alien. Acts like a sociopath. But anyhow, this other sort of lunatic, wealthy man, uh, he got on. He was supposedly looking for alternative clean energy. Well, I mean, I started looking for alternative clean energy, and I found all kind of stuff, and everything I tried worked just fine. And so, and didn't require gasoline or liquid fuel. So, this billionaire person, who is supposedly a scientist type person, I don't think he ever wrote any software personally. I think he stole the software from Apple. But this person, he never contacted me, and he never contacted any of the other people that I used to know that were supposedly doing stuff like that. And so, the search for alternative clean energy, to save us, whatever. Well, it wasn't to save us. He was just looking for the next investment, apparently, because he got on there on the internet and said and declared that liquid fuels are the future. Okay, well, is he talking about gasoline? Is he talking about liquefied natural gas? Okay, well, maybe for a little while, you know, we're still going to have to, sell and use liquefied natural gas. But unless he's talking about using ordinary seawater in your water burning car, I think dude has lost his damn mind. I think solar power is the future. I think space power is the future. I think cold fusion is the future, or hot fusion. So this is what we talked about earlier. I talked about in the chat on Paranormal Chop Shop was good old Jim Goodall is on there. This is a really cool dude. For those of you who don't know who Jim Goodall is, he was an American test pilot, and he's really a hero to a lot of young guys out there, I'm sure, uh, you know, who are interested in aviation and military history and things like that. He was a test pilot, used to fly the SR-71 Blackbird, which I'm sure there's a lot of things about the SR-71 that are still highly classified, but that Jim wouldn't have known. He wouldn't know about that, but Jim might have some connections in that part of the world that could probably use some of these ideas and about saving our world from evil dictators, for saving our world from evil fossil fuel companies, carbon or oh well, it's abiotic, whatever. Okay, so what? That's still a geological product. It's not a living fluid, so it's either a fossil of dead carbon life forms or whatever. But think about this: your human body is carbon based. Your body's made of carbon, and you need oxygen to breathe to live. So not only are we burning down the pristine forests that make the oxygen that we need to breathe, I say we, not me. I don't cut down my trees, not unless I absolutely have to, and if I do, I'm going to plant 10 trees in its place. Um, but I would look for some open land that's already open if I want to put solar panels out there. That's another reason why I'm thinking about moving, trying to sell my house and moving or rent my house out. But so I can find some open land to start over and put solar panels out there. But yeah, our bodies are made of carbon, and we're burning carbon fuels, and we're also using up the oxygen that humanity needs in order to live and thrive and to continue on the next generation. Your children, if you have any, okay, Think about your child and buy a goddamn electric car for once, okay? I'm sorry about the foul language, but I'm very upset at how Facebook has totally polluted the politics in my nation and really corrupted the minds of all of my neighbors to think that Putin is some kind of hero or that psychopaths and authoritarians belong in the White House. No, this is supposed to be a free country. It's not supposed to be a lone dictatorship of this one Charles Manson type fucker. Okay, and I'm sorry if you like the dude. I mean, I gave him benefit of the doubt. I tried to like him. Yeah, he was humorous and he was a popular celebrity, but the president before him was a humorous and a somewhat popular celebrity now. So, um, you know, Reagan was the last really decent president that we had on that side, in my opinion. But Ronald Reagan's rolling in his grave the way our people have allowed, basically it's the Soviet Union, it only fell for probably 2 weeks, or 2 years or whatever it was that the Soviet Union fell. It's not a democracy, and it's not a, they really don't have any benefit to the world other than the oil and gas products, and that's not a benefit. That's a temporary. It should have been a temporary measure during humanity's progress in the world of science, away from rubbing two sticks together and making a fire. Okay, well, yeah, you can rub two sticks together, you can make fire, and now you can burn this dead black crap that comes out of the ground. But you're also killing your own planet. You're killing your children's future. So that's why I say y'all need to consider, all of you out there, everybody who's not me, because I don't have the money to buy anything, any kind of vehicle. But this is because I refuse to I refuse to work for a system that's addicted to oil. It's still addicted to oil and refuses to change its own ways, and because it's just about greed and money. That's what it boils down to, is greed and money. Well, what I'm offering to do now, I don't even care. I don't care if I don't even get paid. Just give me a little place to stay, and you know, burn a joint with me every now and then. You know, come smoke one with me, and I'll be good. Give me some food and a corner to sleep in. I'll be okay. I'll work. I'll learn the CAD software or whatever, and I'll show your engineers. But I gotta vet these engineers and this company before I go to work for anybody, because it looks like we're about to enter a war, if we're not already in a World War III right now. So this is a part of my contribution to the cyber war. Okay, my contribution to the cyber war is, y'all need to find a better person to run for office. You need a real Christian, like this Huckabee guy up in Arkansas, or you need somebody like, or you need a more famous celebrity like this Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back as the Protus. Yeah, put Schwarzenegger in there. Ronald Reagan was a Hollywood actor, so why not? Um, because that whole shit show was really just mind blowing. Could you imagine Ronald Reagan just letting you know Russian spies come into the White House and giving them all the nuclear codes? Here's how you crack into all of our infrastructure. Here's how you shut down the military. No, Ronald Reagan would never have taken such a positive stance towards evil dictators, and basically, this is just corrupt oil company mafiosos. Hell, the freaking Italian mob ain't got nothing on the Russian mob. Um, so, and again, that's all I'm going to say on that, too, because I don't want to become a personal, I'll be put on the hit list, of both of them now, Uh, but I'm really praying hard, hard. I'm praying hard that you conservatives out there will pick a different person. Pick a real Christian who's not a psychopath, who's not a criminal, okay, to run for office. Please. Okay, this is a message to all my fellow Republicans out there. And on the other side, I would say stop taking China's money. Uh, China's not on Russia's side or anybody's side. They're not on America's side. They're not on Ukrainian side. China works for China. China wants to dominate the world. When I went on there looking for special materials, I went to this magnetics company, okay, in China, and I said, well, let me just look into the company where it says about us. So I clicked about us, and it said, something like she's all company, is the premier, of the whatever, of the Chinese, this and that, and our goal is to help the Chinese Communist Party totally dominate the world market in magnetics and advanced technology. Okay. Uh, so how's that good for our national defense? You know, am I going to spend my money on this company who openly admits that they want to totally dominate the world market and become? Oh, I forgot part of it. It said we want to totally dominate the world market in magnetics and help the Communist Party become the world's leader in production of advanced technology so that our nation of China will become the world's lone superpower. Okay? So, you know, um, it's time to restart the Cold War if it don't become hot. And if it becomes hot, all I can say is stock up on MREs and canned goods and try to get to the lowest part, the center part of your house, and consider lining your roof with zinc to protect you from fallout because it's getting close to that point where it's quite likely some nuclear bombs, are going to fall. And I got concerned about this, and I tried to sort of put the word out on the internet, and without really tipping off because I saw what was happening. I mean, I kind of saw, hey, this is mostly Russia, but I don't know how much of it is China. I don't really know, who this Q shit was. Obviously, it's all misinformation and disinformation. It's shit stirring. They're just trying to divide Americans so we fight and we can't agree. Well, you become a weaker nation, easy to invade or control or take over. Hell, they tried to topple the whole government. And Facebook really helped them with that. So I feel like Facebook is really culpable for some serious crimes against the United States of America and our government, which includes the people of the USA. We, the people. Facebook, it should be held criminally responsible for its crimes against we, the people of the United States of America. And I tried to find alternative social media, like I said, and I can't log in because I don't. Apparently, either my email's been hacked or these other sites they want my actual email password. So I'm not going to sign up for any new social media service that wants to have access to all my personal information and spy on me through my camera. That's why I've got my camera blocked. I believe there might be another hidden camera somewhere on this computer, but I'm going to be doing just audio only from now on. And I don't keep a cell phone because I don't like being tracked by anyone. I mean, unless I signed up to be tracked, which I have not yet signed any kind of contracts with any company or any government. I'm a free agent. I'm a free U.S. citizen. And, now, yeah, after 9/11, they changed the Constitution to some extent to where they can do this spying. And, I'm okay with that, because that's as long as they're only looking for this metadata, who are they, what nation or, what enemy nation are you contacting? Well, I'm not trying to contact any enemy nation. I mean, I know my YouTube, I know if I upload this video, it may be seen in other countries. But, probably not in Russia because I know that YouTube and Facebook and stuff is being blocked in Russia right now. And of course, China, they're just going to spin it to their benefit however they can. Another thing that tipped me off is this so-called patron got on there, and he was encouraging me as long as I was bitching about all these damn old companies and what's wrong with my country. Well, as long as I was bitching about what's wrong with America, the dude was sending me more money. I was like, wait a minute, this ain't right, And when I would make a post about, oh, I love America, and well, our president ain't that bad after all, he's kind of funny, in a sort of psychopathic way. um, then he quit. Then he quit. Oh no, he's supporting the government now, and he's saying good things about America. Well, then he quit sending me money. Something ain't right with that. I don't want to be accepting money from enemies of the USA. So I just cut him off. I said, man, I don't need your fucking money. I'm already living off grid and living with, $0 per month income. I basically got to sell my blood if I want to make any money. And I live on gifts, from people from this old libertarian website that I used to go on. So consider becoming a true libertarian. A libertarian says, the government is not supposed to tell us what to think, how to dress, who to follow on social media, who to worship. Libertarians believe in smaller government and less government. Get them out of our bedrooms. You know, uh, you're not supposed to be telling me, how to make love to my wife. The government, we still got laws on the book. This is why I said to somebody, there's a difference between being above the law and just working outside the law. When you work outside the law, these are called civil liberties. For instance, anal sex. Okay, in the state of Louisiana, anal sex is called sodomy. If so, let's say your wife really wants it and she begs you to have anal sex with her, and you agree. Well, in the state of Louisiana, she could turn around, get pissed off at you someday, and say, "Oh, well, oh, he raped me and it was anal sex." Well, pull the semen out. Well, sure enough, she's got semen up in her rectum. And so, depending on what the judge feels like, and then your court appearance or however you behave in court, it's up to the judge to decide whether or not you're guilty of sodomy or not. And they usually side with women in Louisiana. So this is another reason why I suggest that you don't beat your wife. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't piss your wife off. Period. If you got one. If you got a wife, keep her too. They're kind of nice to have. I made the dumb mistake of leaving my wife because I believed that she was cheating on me. And did she beg me back? No. She filed for divorce the next week. So, that's all I'm going to say on that. But I regretted leaving. I should have fought to keep her. I should have fought to win her back. I should have found out maybe who she was cheating with and set him up or something, gotten rid of him somehow by legal means. Not I would not set somebody up by illegal means. This is another thing. I have total respect for the law. I might have taken some civil liberties with oral sex with my ex-wife, but those were civil liberties I felt, was deals with freedom of religion. Or, yeah, I like to get high every now and then. Well, again, this is my own body. I think women should have the right to control their own body. And, you know, this goes for dope heads too. If he wants to put poison in his body, you want to drink yourself to death, go for it, buddy. Go for it. This is why prohibition didn't work. All you're doing is you're funding the gangs and the really bad guys that can murder and really operate above the law. Like some people who used to be in our government worked above the law, and these people are the ones that belong in prison. Your average dopehead doesn't belong in prison. Okay. Um, so that's it on the politics and the legal issues. Oh, well, as far as working outside the law, well, there's only one state in the union where you don't have to register the names of your corporate shareholders, and I think that's the state of Nevada, if I'm not mistaken. So this is where they do a lot of the experimental secret military stuff. Defense. These are defensive weapons. Quit falling for all this Nazi bullshit. When someone comes on bitching about Nazis, either they're really concerned because they have brown skin, like myself, or they're really concerned because they're homosexual and they believe that this is a freedom of religion and they don't want to get lynched, just because they have the wrong sexual orientation. They don't want to get murdered or put in prison and readjusted, because they were born homosexual. I don't believe that this is a choice. I think your DNA really sets your gender and your sexual preferences. Um, People who are, sort of have closet gayness. Well, there's one thing. Brotherly love is one thing, but what that Boy Scout recruiter did to me, or a Cub Scout recruiter did to me, when I was a little kid, that's not cool. That was basically a homosexual child predator tried to grab my little Willie, and then when I pulled away from him, he spent the next 30 minutes, felt like hours and hours, threatening me, made me come up with my own story. What are you going to tell your parents? What are you going to tell the police? What are you going to tell, Sister Clarice? What are you going to, we got to come up with a story to tell Sister Clarice because you said you wanted to join and now you're saying you don't want to join. Well, yeah, no, I don't want to join now because I don't want you to take me out in the woods and butt fuck me and rip open my anus like Mr. Wonder did to all these kids. This was back in the 70s. We had a local TV personality. I found out through back channels because my father was a doctor and knew several physicians in town, and his best friend was like the chief detective of the local police. So I found out through my father that this TV personality was taking these young men on camping trips and raping them, and they were coming home bleeding out of their rectum. That's fucking sick. And now we got this sick motherfucker over there in Russia dropping bombs on a school, a building labeled children. Look, this is a children's hospital. You know, Now in this country, we go out of our way to support, children's hospitals and St. Jude's and Shriners and stuff like this. Over there, they go out of their way to bomb little children. They go out of their way to stick a plutonium pellet in their enemy or poison their political enemies. And that's not how we're supposed to do things in this country. You don't just go around assassinating people because you don't like their political beliefs or their ideology or their adherence to democracy and the rule of law. Okay, So, well, I said I was going to drop that subject now. Well, this is again this video. I'll just maybe label this video, Cyberwar Volley 1 from Sunsaver, because I don't really know how to hack computers. I quit programming in the 80s because I had a buddy who was a programmer, and I stuck with the physics and the electronics and the physics of electricity and magnetism. That's my specialty. Is applied physics. Anytime I see some in the public in the public domain, I don't have access to any secret technology. So anytime I see some new physical discovery in the world of modern physics that's in the public domain, I try to figure out a way to apply it to create a better product, to create a life-saving product or an energy-saving product, an environment. Well, saving the environment is the same as saving your own life, you idiots. I say you idiots, the ones that don't believe, oh, solar power will never work, or electric cars, they don't have the range. Thomas Edison, over 100 years ago, had an electric car with 1,000-mile range on a single charge, and it was a lithium ion battery. Okay? I also have hardback books, old books that are 100 years old and older, that prove that lithium was known about, and also that Thomas Edison, or probably just somebody that worked underneath him, Thomas Edison was just one of these sort of a capitalist pig, if you like. If that's your philosophy, and if you're a communist type or whatever. I'm not a communist. I believe in capitalism. Yeah, it's got flaws, but we got the best system in the world here in the USA. And it brings me back to that. My old man used to say, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, there's a third option. You can ignore them. The third option is don't fight. You can't beat them, join them. Well, just how about you just don't fight? Well, there comes a time in everyone's life when they receive the call to duty, and this is my call to duty. This is why I've been trying to contact, someone who might know someone who might know someone. But I'm not going to be self-promoting all this shit on public social media anymore, because I don't want to attract. I was attracting attention from Russians and Chinese, and I saw a response to one of my videos, where I think it probably came from Russia. The guy was like trying to, oh, we know how electric motors work too. Good for you. Everybody in the engineering world believes they know how electric motors work. Everybody in the engineering world thinks that they've totally got all the physics of basic electricity worked out. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's a whole new type of electricity that is not the same. It's totally new physics. It's we might could use quantum mechanics to explain it or define it or predict it, and but you know so I'm going to get off into physics now. I'm going to go back to some of the physics. I'll share some of what I know. I won't share the ideas or inventions that I have with anyone unless I can vet this person or this company, and make sure that they're not working for or with enemies of the United States. I'm not going to share any sort of concepts for advanced motor technology, and I have other ideas for other advanced uses, advanced products I should say, for this type of alternative physics that I've sort of discovered. Now I don't know, I don't have any, my theories are very vague at the point. The point is, I've seen the evidence that tells me, hey, this is wrong. What they're saying about electricity is highly inaccurate. We already know that the old electron, model of, the old electron model is defunct. Also, they recently discovered the ether, or the aether. Okay, this was Tesla's idea that they ridiculed, made fun of. So then a guy named Paul Dirac came up with the same concept. He called it, basically, uh, I just call it the Dirac field. I don't really remember. I don't know for sure what Paul Dirac called it. But then this guy named Higgs come up with the Higgs field and proposed that there should be a particle called a Higgs boson. And so then in recent years, scientists out there, other scientists out there, were calling this the God field. One famous physicist actually got on stage and said, "Well, I hope they don't find the Higgs boson because that means it's the end of physics." They were calling it the God particle. Okay, so I call it the God field. This is the quantum molasses that gives the effect of mass, and it may actually be the source of creation of mass from energy. So energy gets turned into matter. This is basically the opposite of an atom of the opposite of a fission bomb, I should say. So yeah, you could think of the Higgs boson as like, this is the Higgs boson is basically just the smoking gun that says this quantum molasses or aether field is real. So I think of it as a fixed frame of reference. Everything else is relative. In other words, when we talk about general and special relativity, everything out there, each mass or object or a what am I trying to say? A frame of reference for a given volume of space time is relative to another frame of reference for another given volume of space time, but they're separated by space time. There's space time in between there, and then within that volume, you still have this all prevailing unified field. This is the unified field that Einstein wanted to find. He wanted to prove it. He wanted to prove that it existed. Einstein believed in God. And he totally, he even declared, "I don't believe that God plays dice," talking about Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Well, the uncertainty principle that just deals with the physicists who are trying to predict the future. Okay, well, you're not God. You're not this. It's basically a time field because it's space time. It's not two different things. It's not space and time. In space and time. No, you don't say space and time. It's just space time. So if you go back in time, you're going back to a different location also. And so we'll maybe get into the time travel stuff in another episode. I'll maybe start talking about the time travel theories, and apparently the time war. There's also apparently a time war taking place. Some of these little gray dudes, they might not be aliens. They could be time travelers from our own future, or these could be returning astronauts from some race of hominids that used to live on Earth. I can't say that these are human because nobody has declared that these are humans, but they could be our descendants. Well, if they're our descendants, look at them. What nation do you think they represent? They don't look American to me. um, I'm talking about the gray aliens, the supposed aliens, ultra terrestrials. I'm just going to start calling them ultra terrestrials or UT instead of ET. Now, these may be ET. I'm not saying ET is not real. When you travel close to the speed of light, time slows down. So for you, it might be just a few months' journey, but you done traveled 10,000 light years halfway across the galaxy or whatever. So, or 100 light years is no big deal. And so yeah, a lot of these UFOs could actually be spacecraft from another star system. That's kind of scary, man. That's why the cover up. That's why they didn't want to come out and tell you, hey, you know, we captured a crashed saucer that we shot down with something. But don't be afraid because, there are good people out here. I'm sure that there are good aliens too. that want to help the USA, or any, any beneficial government, I should say, or beneficial form of government that believes in liberal democracy. If you don't believe in liberal democracy and you're a communist, or if you're a skeptic that just wants to tell people that God doesn't exist and angels don't exist, fuck you. See you later. Thanks for listening.